I want to bring in Major General William Enyart now this morning to discuss what we are hearing from a very newsworthy press conference in Germany. The one thing, though, that I think was not mentioned, and clearly the reporters picked up on it, was the issuing of tanks in support of the ongoing war effort. Why Germany has not made the decision to send tanks. They're waiting for the United States. Help us interpret what is happening here.
Well, you raised some very good points, and I think your recap of the press conference was excellent, Marni. With the question of German Leopard tanks, you really have to remember history here. You know, Germany fought two major world wars against Russia in the last century. Millions of people were killed on both sides, particularly in World War II. So Germany desperately does not want to fight another war against Russia without the U.S. firmly on its side. So I think that Germany is looking for a guarantee that the U.S. is with Germany and Europe in this current war. And the point that this is not just about Ukraine. This is about European security and about world security is an excellent point. Should Putin prevail in this war, and should he have been able to prevail back in February when he first struck, it would have just engendered an entirely new era of conflict in Western and Central Europe. And that's something we don't want to see. My grandmother would tell you we need to fight this war now, not later, because in World War II, she sent 5 sons and 5 sons-in-laws to Europe and to the Pacific to fight World War II. So we need to stop this now.
Right. Let me ask you this, because this is a major financial package, $2.5 billion. It will help Ukraine, as the secretary said there, meet air defense needs. It will also help tackle the urgent need for armor and for combat vehicles. Of the list of items that they described, the weaponry that will be provided, what will be most significant, have the biggest impact on the battlefield?
I think on the battlefield itself, probably the Strykers and the Bradleys. Those are very capable weapon systems, and frankly, Bradleys killed more Iraqi tanks in the Gulf War than Abrams did. So the Bradleys are a very, very capable weapon, and we're providing enough of them to make up, as the secretary and General Milley pointed out, 3 armored brigades. That's a lot of firepower.
You know, I've been watching the situation, the recent apartment attack in Dnipro, the helicopter crash outside of Kyiv, the fact that Soledar has basically been destroyed in the Donetsk region. Then you've got to talk about Crimea, right? So the Russians annexed Crimea years ago. They think they have control of it. Ukraine says Crimea belongs to us and we're going to take it back. And you heard a question being levied from a reporter there about the status of Crimea and any U.S. involvement in supplying weaponry or training to Ukrainian forces in Crimea. Why is that important? Why is this, or could this be critical?
Well, Crimea has long been a base for Russian power. One of their major, their major naval bases in Sevastopol, which is in Crimea. They have used those naval assets to launch missiles, guided cruise missiles against Ukraine. And so that's a very, very important military center for Russia. In order to assault Crimea, what Ukraine would have to do would have to be drive through to the Sea of Azov and the Melitopol area or Mariupol and cut off the supplies that could come down from mainland Russia. You've already seen Ukraine destroy or very badly damage the bridge that supplies Crimea with military weaponry and resources. So if they could cut that land bridge, they could, in essence, starve the Russians out. You can't fight a war without logistics and without the supplies you need.
Wow. Well, a lot of news coming out of this joint press conference. I know that you know this more than anyone. These two gentlemen do not mince words, and they're very careful about the words that they do choose to use. And the fact that they're talking about global security and the most united they've ever seen NATO, I think, are the headlines to come out of this. As always, thank you, retired Major General William Enyart. Appreciate your perspective on this. We'll be talking to you again soon. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.